Greetings, and today it's a quick update on Vulcan Energy Resources. I keep doing updates on this because it's my biggest holding, it's my most successful holding to date, and therefore I keep referring back to this because I think there are important lessons. So let's see, we've had three good pieces of news. One of them is that the German ministry awarded Vulcan Energy Resources 100 million euros with respect to repurposing infrastructure, etc., for renewable heat. Fantastic. They've also announced the commissioning of their downstream plant, which again is a great milestone. And also, there's been an announcement between Vulcan Energy Resources and BASF to provide them with renewable heat. So we continue to get more good news, additional news that perhaps we were not expecting, um, and some news that we were expecting, like the commissioning and additional funding. And that is continuing to propel the share price of Vulcan Energy Resources higher, which is fantastic. And it's not just about sentiment, or maybe it is partly about sentiment on lithium price recovery, etc. But I think it's far more to do with a company that's meeting its milestones. Right. So what next? What am I expecting to do, and how do I go about my decision making? Obviously, it's been a significant increase ever since I've held, and a significant profit that I'm sitting on now. Is the time now to take profits, or what? What should I do? So here's my thinking. I've mentioned before about the Lassonde curve, and I believe we're in the early stages. If I look at the NPV of the main project, I think in Australian dollars, it's around post-tax $4 billion plus. And if we look at the latest share price, current closing, perhaps the valuation of the company is at around 1.3, perhaps 1.4 billion Australian dollars, something like that. So let's assume we are at around a third of the potential value of the company with its main asset. So I think that would then indicate that there's more space to go for growth in share price, and hence I'm willing to hold on to realize that valuation. The other thing is the company keeps announcing new opportunities, albeit in the future, or current opportunities like with BASF, etc., which gives more optionality for the production of more lithium in the future. And hence, some of these items may not be baked into the current valuation. So, in light of that, I am not selling. I'm expecting that by the end of Q1, we get more news on confirmation of the financing package, which I think will be a huge catalyst for the company. As I mentioned, we're at around a third of the NPV of the main project, and therefore I think between now and 2027, there's a lot to go, a nice and steady increase, and that's what I would expect. So perhaps next week, Monday or whatever, there'll be some profit taking in. Who knows, as there always is, with short-term traders banking those profits. But medium to longer term, I'm sticking around for the ride. Now, in terms of long term, I just looked at a statistic or a piece of news the other day, and it was a post actually about Domino Pizza, and that had you invested 20 years ago when the company came to market, now the return would have been X 1000%. And there were so many examples of that. Had you just held, had you just held. So I'm not saying this applies directly to Vulcan Energy Resources. Obviously, do your own research, seek financial advice. But from my perspective, from what I see, it's a sort of company that I would like to hold for the long term, because I believe that the timing is right. If we look at the future and even conservative the lithium supply-demand balances, the timing of company coming into production is very well aligned. I think the potential with um, companies like BASF and other previously announced projects with Stellantis, for example, I think there's a lot of upside. Um, there's also absolutely the opportunity for the company to, in the future, have a phase two add-on to its project of similar size, with all of these opportunities here, Germany, France, perhaps in the future in Italy, who knows? And with the long-term trajectory of electrification, of renewable heat, of European policies supportive of decarbonization, etc. I think I think I think it's a really really good company, and my view is that it could be a great company, and hence it's one of those that um, uh, I just want to hold, not because I've fallen in love with the company. It's because I see continued potential, continued milestones, and continued growth that is not yet, in my view, baked into the current valuation. That's my view. That's what I'm planning to do. Just sharing my journey. Once again, it's not advice for yourselves, but I think that it's an interesting company. I'll leave that with you. Have a great weekend. Cheers.